All right, we're going to be going over this last week's full trade recap today. That includes absolutely everything, every trade I took in, the results for this week, how much I'm up this week, full transparency, because that's what we do here on DanTactics. This morning, I wanted to wake up and record a little bit of a different type of video. I wanted to release a video on like my morning routine. Unfortunately, we woke up at 9 a.m. and that's a little bit later than I normally wake up, and my camera was dead. So yeah, that was very unfortunate, but that is the video that I believe I'm going to be dropping next week. If you guys want to see any other types of content, or if you guys want to see something, leave a comment down below. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, but otherwise than that, let's get into this shit. All right, boys, so here is Monday. I'm going to go over my trade that I took on Monday. I was kind of one and done on Monday. Very quick trading day for me. I ended up getting, oh, I forgot it's gonna do this every time. I ended up getting very unfortunate on Monday. I got absolute edged maxed to oblivion, to absolute oblivion. I got edge maxed. Let's go over what exactly happened. I'm going to make it very easy for you too. Tuesday I did not trade, so we're not even going to look at Tuesday. I didn't look at price myself. I had a doctor's appointment. But regardless, taking a look here, we ended up entering pre-market. So my reason of entry at this current point is I was already in a bullish bias. We had projection to the upside. Now, I'm not going to say how I got projection. If you guys pay attention to it hard enough over like the course of like the next couple like videos, next couple days, I'm going to show you. You guys will understand why I got projection. Reason I don't want to show you guys is because it is not going to be it's not going to be helpful to you guys unless I make like 18 parts videos on how to use it. It is standard deviation. Yes, it's just used differently than you would think. So I wouldn't like just try to guess, and I don't know, because I know a lot of people use like standard deviations based off SMTs and stuff, and that's not how I use it. It's more of like with what London session did, but regardless, we're not gonna get into it. Price ended up coming up. We saw here that price went down, reached our first projection, ended up respecting, coming down, rebalancing. We saw that price rebalanced. On ES, I believe here we had an SMT. Price ended up coming out, taking this out. On the NASDAQ, we didn't. I saw that price went up, filled this imbalance. This was a 5-minute imbalance at this time. Price then went lower, and price wanted to continue higher. So I then targeted our next level of projection, which also overlaps with the new week opening gap. So it was really, really clean for longs. Now, projection didn't get met, but our target did get met, and if I was actually like properly taking this, we would have captured a lot more points than I did. I ended up capturing not 44, I ended up capturing 33 points in this trade. I ended up closing 5 minutes later. Fun fact, I was on the shitter playing Clash Royale as this trade was taking place. All right, so this is our like main trade of the week that we low-key missed out on. Massive fucking L that we weren't able to capture these last 2 points that we needed. But other than that, let's get into the other days of the week. All right, so this is now Wednesday. We ended up taking 2 trades this day. This trade was eval only. It ended up playing out. We ended up going up an extra like $300 on our eval this week. We're up like a decent bit on it. We're actually getting pretty close to getting back to double funded. That's my goal. That's where I want to get to by the end of this month. I've been there a couple times. I've just, every single time I go there, I make disciplinary issues. But the way I've been trading this funded especially has been a lot better. We're getting really near, we're getting close to a payout. So a couple more weeks like this week, and I'm definitely going to be taking a payout. But whatever. If we look at this trade, this was the trade I ended up taking on my funded and on my eval. I ended up taking this trade with very light risk. I was only 1 micro. Price was very choppy, very low prob. This long setup I had ended up taking, I could have held it to another target on my eval. That was the best setup of the day. Unfortunately, this ended up not playing out. We ended up getting completely break even on this trade. So this is one of our trades that just completely did nothing this week. Let's go, boys. Now we're back to Thursday. And obviously I'm not gonna mention I'm not mentioning projection these last 2 days. Reason being is because we haven't had one. Projection also isn't here every day. It's just the way it goes. So what I ended up doing on Thursday is I was very, very bearish. I was very bearish going into this day because of what the higher time frame was doing. Throughout London session, we reached our bullish target. Now, in my opinion, the most probable setup that you were able to take was longs from here into right here. Obviously, it ended up playing out. But we already made this move, and we already were making a move down as price was opening up. So now we had two options happening. We had the option of price coming here and then going higher, or the price running through and then targeting other imbalances that we ended up touching, rebalancing, and then we'll get into a little bit more of my bias today once we get to that point. But price ended up coming up. Then we ended up going down, but we ran straight through it. What's the highest probable setup in this? Is that we know that price is going to end up coming down into this point. But look at what price already did. Here on the 15-minute time frame, even before market opened, price already got to this point. Now we got to see what price did to interact with this. And we ended up coming up, and then we literally like faked out the long move, and then we ended up going short. So I ended up getting kind of fried on this. I ended up going 1 for 1, and I'm going to tell you what happened. I don't have my trades marked out, but I know exactly when I entered. So my first absolute original short was at 9:37. I ended up taking shorts here, and I had my stop above this bullshit ass point. Like, I didn't mean for me to set, let's just improper TP, with this being the target. Even if I had proper stop, I'm stopped out though. So I ended up taking an L, and then I ended up re-entering, not on this candle, which even though this candle was a smart trade, I ended up re-entering at 9:42 with the simple target. I ended up capturing a lot more points. It was 63. I think it was, yeah, I targeted Asia low. 100 P's. No, it wasn't that much. I might have entered like this. I got 63 points though. Regardless, that was the trade. That was the bias for Thursday, but we ended up robbing myself. We robbed ourselves like off another $100. Like, dude, like we are doing things like to my own trading career that like I'm just robbing myself. All right, boys. So today my bias was also pretty simple. We had projection to the upside. Projection was met. We ended up getting a move down. I was pretty bearish, like I was saying. Remember this entire move? We ended up filling this for it, but that's not the reason why I was bearish. The reason why I was bearish is because price was coming up into let me show you. On the 1 hour time frame at market open, we had this imbalance down here that we had not yet filled, and we had projection of the upside. Let me just show you guys really quickly because we literally met it and instantly ran down. Projection was right here overlapping this high time frame imbalance. So I was kind of bearish, but I almost wanted to see a bearish move down into this imbalance before we made this move up, but that's crazy. Literally played out to a tick. Go back to the 1 minute here. I'm gonna show you exact entry. We ended up seeing price open up very, very choppy. After this candle at 9:33, I saw this bullshit. I thought we were gonna run long, no entries yet. I ended up taking shorts literally at this candle close, 1 micro. My stop loss was right here. I guess you could say I entered here and then I ended up closing for 27.5 points. And then my target was to get to this 1 hour, but we never ended up hitting it. I did end up closing in this candle though. Reason being is because of the way this candle closed. I almost knew that price wanted to continue higher, and I'm not even gonna lie, The best setup of the day is longs right here, stops below this, and then you could target that projection that I showed you boys, or you could even, if you want to be safe, target this 76 points. Even if you take it no matter what, $160, lowest possible contract size. But yeah, that's it for this entire week. This week was a little bit tricky. Obviously I showed you guys the daily time frame. This shit is straight chop. You could literally paint a freaking, it looks like a barcode. All right, boys. Anyways, I don't really know what else to say. We're gonna be back next week. We had a decent week this week. Hopefully some of the things I told you guys this video made sense. I am buying a new microphone soon, so stay in tune. But other than that, boys, I'll see you.